What up, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses? How you doing? Hang on, let me fix this angle. Better. A bit more of the steering wheel though, that's not good. How you doing? It's Neil, the Great Apostate, coming at you live from his van. I think I've got a cold coming on, hence the slightly gruffer voice than usual. So, recently I've been thinking about the whole XJW thing, and I know I want to be careful that I'm not flogging a dead horse here. But, oh, by the way, I shaved the beard off. Those of you who don't know, I have dermatitis, and growing a beard for me is literally the equivalent of sleeping in a woolen sack or rolling around in nettles. It is the hardest thing, because after about a week, that dermatitis kicks in, and there's no cream on earth can cover every bit of your beard, and so suddenly you get rashes and pain, and you're just like, no, I gotta shave it off. I wish I could grow a big beard though, because I'm kind of jealous. Anyway, moving along. So, I don't want to flog a dead horse, but I wanted to talk about the XJW thing, and sort of the stages I went through and where I'm at now. So when I left the Jehovah's Witnesses, I was religious. I did go to church. I found a church almost immediately, because as many of you know, when I left the Witnesses, I never wanted really to not be a Christian. I just didn't want to say something that I knew was a lie. So there was that. So I found a church quite quickly. Got married. All was good. Then life got in the way. We had some personal tragedies, and that made me give up religion for quite a while. Then I got into the ex-Jehovah's Witness stuff, and I thought that I was doing some good there, and I still do think I've done some good. At a great cost, it must be admitted, at a great cost to me and my family. Even today, this video will be downvoted 15 times by some nutty lady who hates me from England, and she'll start a new account to post some crap about me, not knowing that Facebook doesn't even, or YouTube doesn't even let it go up. It just removes the comment as she talks to herself. But that makes her happy, I guess. So yeah, there was a lot of personal cost to that. But I think one of the biggest personal costs for me was the loss of faith, because I am a person predominantly in my whole life, a person of faith, who's believed and done so to been fairly serious about it, and I've probably been floating around not sure what to believe. And so the last 5, 6, 7 years, one thing I really got into was listening to oh look, a cool yacht just got towed by me. One thing I got really into was listening to YouTube debates. So Christopher Hitchin versus Alistair McGrath debate whether there's a God, and on it goes. From there I discovered some really great people. Some people I disagreed with, some people I agreed with. William Lane Craig obviously would be my favourite. A really interesting Christian, and probably the only person I've ever seen in a debate that was unflappable and ultimately convincing. Kent Hovind, who's a literal 6-day Earth creationist, who I don't agree with completely, but really does make you think. Certainly one of the things he made me realise was that almost everything I believe, I'm unable to prove. So think about that. Do we believe, who here watching this video believes that the Earth was made in 6 days? I would suggest it's probably not 1%. And yet if you asked the 99% and said, okay, well what rock solid evidence can you give me for your conclusions? Most people would just have to rely on, well, science says so. And that's cool. Science says lots of things. Science gave me the chemicals I use to deal with dermatitis. I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that individually we're often quite ignorant. One of the things though that I've noticed, I've never been a real conspiracy minded kind of person, though I am becoming more open to it as I get older. And I have noticed that as time goes on, there are things in the world that maybe I would have brushed off as a younger man, but I see now and I just think, oh, there's something very, very spooky about that. There's something very odd about that. I think the first time I ever felt that was when I heard about Bohemian Grove, not Bohemian Rhapsody. That was just a Queen song, albeit a brilliant one. But Bohemian Grove, which was some kind of weird get-together of the mad and the powerful, where they would worship in front of some weird owl god, and people were like, "No, it doesn't happen, you freak show! What a nonsense!" And I would be one of those people. And then, of course, somebody sneaks in, videotapes it, and I was like, "Okay, that feels wrong." And I had this feeling again the other day when I watched a video from CERN. You're familiar with CERN? It's where the Large Hadron Particle Accelerator lives. And CERN is the place where smart people go to be smart together. That's where Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory went shortly before getting his Nobel Prize for Physics. Basically, it's the place where scientism and where, you know, where lack of belief in the supernatural is at its highest. Now, I was quite surprised when I discovered that despite that, they have a large statue of the goddess Shiva outside the front of their building, which I always thought was a bit weird. But I was prepared to give up on that, to ignore it, assuming that came from the Robert Oppenheimer quote, "I have become Shiva, the goddess of destruction," when he invented the nuclear bomb. And he saw the first one being tested. I believe it was at White Sands where they tested it. Anyway, you'll know if you know. And so I assume that's where their affinity for Indian gods came from. So it quite surprised me when I went online recently, and you can see this, don't take my word. And I saw this video of a bunch of staff from CERN coming out in black robes, surrounding the statue, and then taking out another person into the center, taking off the black robes, and it was a woman in a white dress, and then doing what really looks like plunging a knife into her chest. And I saw this, and I thought to myself, okay, this has got to be fake. Can't be real. Got popcorn on my teeth. This, no, that doesn't happen. And but then no, CERN was contacted about this, and they said, "We are not happy. This was a prank that went too far. Trust me, the girl ain't dead though." You're like, okay. I would have thought that the greatest minds in the world come to study particles were probably above making us think that they were part of a satanic ritual, unless they were part of a satanic ritual. Which leads me to wonder, is everything I believe wrong? Are the Jehovah's Witnesses really part of this Masonic cult that, that has a grander purpose that maybe even the leadership of the Jehovah's Witnesses don't understand? To put it at it most bluntly, is this whole system lying in the power of the wicked one? Is it all just some game that the devil's playing on people to try get them to not believe in God and to give up any potential future? As I said, I was traditionally a believer, and that would not have seemed very far from any of us at one point, and it's starting to seem more realistic to me these days. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. Tell me all. Tell me your conspiratorial thoughts. I don't even want to get into 9/11 and false flags and all that kind of stuff, because some of those things are just, I won't say obvious, but certainly they make you question and doubt the narrative. But I'd like to hear your more interesting conspiracies, and tell me what you think. Am I going crazy? Even you, lady who hates me, who's going to downvote this 15 times, what do you think? This time I'm even going to let you post. Go on, say something. Probably be wanker, won't it? Well, guys, have a great day. Thank you very much. Take care.